All right, so we're gonna play Dungeons and Dragons today, but I got a lot of homebrew rules, so listen up, and you might want to take notes too. We do something that I've crafted after years and years of failure. I always use 2d6 instead of a d20, and then I add 6 afterwards and divide it by 3. Okay. Also, my movement is in Pythagorean theorem that you can move after you've gone, but before the other player's gone. I also don't like any of the rules for role-playing in Dungeons and Dragons, so using a different quadratic equation to determine the number. I'll tell you what, Cletus, there's too many daggum home rules. So I'm going to make 2 non-alcoholic mixed drinks for you today, one shaken, one stirred. Both drinks are going to use tea as a base. That's because I don't want to mess around with trying to do a fake non-alcoholic base that's meant to taste like something. I'm not doing that. That's not what I'm in this for. I'm in this to make an interesting, delicious drink. I'm not trying to imitate something else. The best way that I found to do that is with teas, not fruit juices. Fruit juices are just too sweet. So for all of my non-alcoholic drinks, I used a strong tea, over steeped, so that it becomes a little bit bitter. If you don't like the bitterness of drinks, just make a regular strength tea. There are so many teas out there, and that makes it really fun. That's part of the reason I like mixed drinks, is experimenting with all the different choices. So for this shaken drink today, I'm gonna make it just like I would make a shaken cocktail, with fruit juice, lemon, sweetener, this is ginger syrup, and a base. This is tea. This is specifically this Bengal spice. It's an herbal tea, so caffeine free. It's this herbal tea that has cinnamon, cardamom, ginger, cloves. It's really pretty tasty. Now when I'm making these non-alcoholic drinks with tea, I'm gonna double the base because the teas are gonna be weaker than a spirit. And it's mostly water, right? As usual, I'm gonna start with my syrup. Gonna do an ounce of ginger syrup here. This is the ginger syrup that I've made before. By blending up ginger with a simple syrup, a 2-to-1 sugar to water ratio of simple syrup. A couple inches of ginger, blend it together, and then strain it through a cheesecloth or some kind of fine, really fine strainer, like a coffee filter even could work. It just takes a long time. But I recommend getting like a nut milk bag. I'm gonna do a light ounce of lemon juice, like 3/4. And then, like I said, I'm going to double the base that I would normally do for a cocktail. So this will be 4 ounces of this Bengal spice tea. 2 reasons why I double that base. 1, I drink these faster than I would drink a cocktail, and so I want it to last longer. I want more of it. 2, I don't need to dilute this as much because it's got more water in it. I'm not going to shake it as long as I would a cocktail. Dumping my ice in. Again, my short side of my shaker is filled with ice. That's the amount of ice that I want to shake. I put in the small side into the big so that one edge is touching, the other is as far away as it can be. Just tap it in, shake it, probably 10 or 12 seconds. Grab my chilled glass. Gets a nice foam on it from that lemon juice and sugar. You aerate, you get this really nice foamy texture. That's why you shake drinks like this. You stir the others because you want them to have a silkier, smoother texture. This one I call Taste the Season. Cheers. It's really great. I love that. Just a great drink to have on Saturday afternoon. I'm trying something different, and I encourage you to do that too with some non-alcoholic drinks. I encourage you, though, to incorporate them into your everyday routine and not just do it once a year. Mix it into your routine. It satisfies that same urge that I have to craft something, go through the ritual of making a drink. It also gives me something delicious and interesting to drink. And along with that, I'd encourage you to try new and different hobbies too. Try a tabletop role-playing game. And if you're going to do that, I'd encourage you to find the right game system for you. You're going to hear about Dungeons and Dragons the most in the 5th edition of the game. Shop around a little bit. Don't just settle on 5th edition. Too many people settle for 5th edition and then don't like it and continue to play it, change it and modify it, and don't have as much fun as they could be having with tabletop role-playing. Go to anybody's table, you'll find a lot of house rules to fix the game. I would say find a game that you like first. Don't just try and fix 5th edition because it's what you think you have to play. Along those lines, I've started playing Draw Steel, the MCDM tabletop role-playing game. It's the game that I've found after years of playing different games as much as I can that satisfies that tabletop role-playing game experience that I'm looking for. Draw Steel is a strategy-focused, combat-oriented tabletop role-playing game, but they're also focused on giving you that fantasy of playing as a hero, fighting for good. From the start, you have incredible powers. You're mowing through minions. You are standing toe-to-toe with powerful boss creatures. You are calling on the gods to aid you in battle. Okay, my next mixed drink is going to be stirred. I'm not using a fruit juice in this one. That's why I'm stirring it. I want that texture to be silky smooth. And I'm going to stir it in the glass over a large rock of ice. I'm doing this for two reasons. One, because I'm lazy and it's easier to stir in the glass than it is to get out a mixing glass, add a bunch of ice, stir and pour off. Two, I don't want as much water in this. I don't want it diluted as much because I'm using tea as a base. Stirring it in the glass, I'm not going to be stirring it as long. I'm not going to be stirring it with as much ice. I just want it chilled. And it doesn't have alcohol in it, so I don't need to get it as cold, nor can I get it as cold as I would a cocktail. So the way that I have found to enjoy a mixed non-alcoholic drink most is with vinegar, believe it or not. So I'm going to build this with balsamic vinegar, pomegranate syrup, and tea. Sweetening it with the pomegranate syrup, which is just pomegranate juice and sugar made into a simple syrup. I added orange blossom water in here. My tea, this is a watermelon mint tea, an herbal tea. And then the vinegar, the balsamic vinegar, is going to give me kind of a bite to the drink. This is a fig flavored vinegar, come from one of those olive oil tasting stores. So building in the chilled glass over the ice. This is going to be 3/4 ounce of my pomegranate syrup. Don't want this quite as sweet because it doesn't have the lemon juice to balance that sweetness out. 4 ounces of watermelon mint tea is what this is. Experiment with different teas. I've got a vanilla chai that's really good in this. Now I'm going to add a bar spoon of this balsamic vinegar. It's strong stuff. And then just going to stir this up. Again, the ice cube is chilling. This whole ritual, though, is really part of the experience for me. A couple times a week, 3 or 4 times a week, I'll do one of these when I'm craving a drink. Just incorporate it into my regular routine. Just really enjoy that routine, the craft of making a drink, the mixology of it. You kind of feel like a mad scientist. It's fun. This one I'm calling home for the holidays. I don't know why. Cheers. Really delicious. And a lot of things to tweak here, a lot of levers to pull to change things. Different tea, different vinegar, and different syrup. So like I said, one of the things I like to do is mess around homebrew monsters and homebrew rules for my games. But if you find yourself getting to the point where you're just homebrewing everything, where none of the rules are working for you, none of the monsters are fun, then you need to try a different system. There's so many game systems out there. I try and play 3 or 4 every time I go to Gen Con every year, different systems, and learn about them and see what people are playing, what's working, what new ideas are out there. The same way I do with monsters. I'll take an adult golden dragon like this, or this ancient golden dragon, and just completely change the expectations of how it acts, what abilities it has, what powers it has. The players, they may be surprised by that. They may get a little frustrated at first because they thought they knew more than you knew. They came in with expectations thinking, hey, I know what this golden dragon's going to do. It's going to bring fire on me. Well, guess what? My golden dragon has a bazooka. I don't know. It breeds ants. It turns into a pool of jelly. I think that's fun. I think that's interesting. That's why I really like trying different games. Draw Steel's the game I'm playing right now. I encourage you, if you're not having fun with the current system or if you're at the end of a campaign, to try a different game system. Cheers and Happy New Year.